is a short story called Ghosts. And it is from the 2022-2023 Dundee Crown Literary Arts Magazine. Ghosts. It was just a regular day at the office. Then the power went out. My screen that was once lit up now consisted of nothing other than a dark void. The only lighting left to fill up the once bustling office room was the sunlight. My eyes peered around carefully, realizing that this scene currently happening before me seemed to be like a memory, as if I had already once lived this scene. Suddenly, like a shock to the system, a loud, shocking explosion was heard, and the smell of smoke could be quickly identified. My eyes searched around the room desperately looking for a sign of help, if any. My eyes landed on a girl next to me. She was hunched over under her desk, her body resembling that of a quaking rabbit. Although I caught a glimpse of her, I stayed glued in place, afraid of what could possibly be lurking just on the other side of my desk wall. Was it even human? What was I even witnessing? The gurgling screeches of sound pierced my ears and did not allow my brain to think of it as any type of human attack. After all, how could a human possibly make such noises? It wasn't long before I started hearing screams coming from the cubes residing on the other side of my office building. My office building, that was once filled with bustling workers and utter chit-chat, was now being filled with bursting screams and screeches. At one point, I could see the color of crimson red making its way to the ceiling on the other side of the building. The splats were coming closer and closer to my residing cube. I felt the sweat on my face start dripping quicker and quicker, my heart racing 1,000,000 times a minute, my blood pumping quicker and quicker. The more splats that went off, the more my pace was quickened. The incoherent screeches of whatever was near was advancing closer and closer to the very spot I was on. One cube away was the moment I started regretting all of my life decisions, when I started regretting this one life decision. The decision to stay under my desk instead of trying to flee. The thing slowly crossed its way over the front of my cube. My hands almost immediately clasped themselves over my quivering mouth, afraid I myself would screech at any given moment from the sight of such a horrendous, blood-hurling creature. Seemed to be part human, except was explicitly, horrendously hideous beyond description. Blood-hurling eyes that burned through your soul like hot metal piercing a wound. Claws that extend to the length of your average pencil, sharp as a razor, ready and prepared to strike down its target the instant it wishes. Breath hitched through such razors. Its skin consisted of a concerning shade of pale, and tattoos could be seen crossing almost every part of its skin. Its pupils, they weren't white like mine. They were drowned out by pitch black. I felt my entire core quiver at its sight of such a disturbing life form. The thought that this thing was over the bracket of humans on the food chain made my pupils themselves start trembling. I watched as it traveled closer to me. Every inch covered caused my breath to hitch, my heart to want to explode right there and then. My lungs needed more oxygen than I should usually require. Right as it was about to move in for the kill, its fangs making themselves even more known if possible, I witnessed as the creature was removed from my sight, only to be replaced by scorching flames taking their rightful place in the mirror of my pupils. "Are you all right, miss?" Yes. My voice quivered for every vowel that crawled out through my mouth. All she did was smile at me and relay a message. "It'll be all right, but right now you need to get out of here as quickly as possible." The last words were incoherent to me, but judging by what she said, she was sending a young boy to come and help me out. His hair consisted of pure charcoal, but had a few white streaks. "Come with me, miss. I assure you everything will be all right." He held his hand out to me. I hesitated, but I took it. I wanted to survive this. I didn't want to die. The young boy helped me up and helped me walk to the exit. "The staircase doesn't exactly seem to be the safest," he proposed as he scanned the blood-covered stairs. "No. Did it even get the people working down there?" "Well, the window, it is." At these words, my head shot up at him and my face read nothing but the phrase, "Are you insane?" Suddenly, I could feel the gravitation lift. We're falling from a building, but it's the 50th floor? What's going on? I shut my eyes and started screaming. What was happening? "You can open your eyes now. We're fine." Oops, I was still screaming, wasn't I? I looked up to scan my surroundings. Tons of sirens could be seen and heard going off, signaling the presence of cops and other civil protectors. I turned around to thank the young man who had brought me down to my safety, but when my eyes reached the full 360-degree turn they wished to, he was gone, as if he had never been there in the first place. "Miss, are you all right? Are you hurt?" One of the police officers ran up to me, a concerned look spreading itself onto their face. "No, I'm all right, thank you, officer, but there are still people in there." My words rushed as I did my best to calmly tell the officer what I had just witnessed. Right away, I watched as he pressed a button on his intercom. Most likely the button to call for backup. All my mind could do was stay there, stuck there in the shock of what I had just witnessed. Who are these people?